on Surgeon General Zola Tabula to update South Africa on Deputy President David Mabusa's health. Mabusa had a month-long stint in Russia for medical treatment. He is set to return on Wednesday. For more on what the DA is expecting, we are joined by the DA spokesperson, Solly Malatsi. Solly, thank you so much for making time. Aren't you pushing it too far here? Health issues are a private matter. Surely the Deputy President is also entitled to that privacy.
No. Absolute no doubt, Clement, interest here in the fact that the Deputy President has been away for a month with absolute clarity regarding the status of his health. And this is not the first time that the Deputy President's health has been attributed to as the reason for his absence from office. And the Office of the Surgeon General exists as the chief medical doctor for the president and the deputy president to provide that clarity as to whether the deputy president's health is in such that he's able to fulfill the requirements of his posting. Because there has been times in the past that, for instance, Parliament's program had to be changed around the deputy president's well-being because he was not able to come and answer oral questions both in the National Council of Provinces and in the National Assembly. And given that the Deputy President has additional responsibilities as the leader of government business, as the chair of Cabinet's Committee on ESCOM, and also Cabinet's Committee on the vaccination program, it is key that his prolonged absence from office does not have an impediment on government's program and by extension on the work of Parliament. And that is why the clarity regarding his health is of absolute importance in this regard, so that if indeed his health is of such that it inhibits him from consistently doing his work, that he can be given that time without the distraction of the very gruesome and strenuous requirements of fulfilling his role as the Deputy President of the country.
But the reality, and I hear your concerns, I wonder how many times there's been disruption to his work, but the reality is he is entitled to leave. You and I, Solly, can also take some time off work to deal with medical issues, even with the added responsibilities that we have.
Sure, but you and I are not the leaders of government business. You and I are not the second most powerful people in this country. And I think that is where the public interest far outweighs in this regard, the entitlement to privacy. And even in the entitlement to privacy, we are not calling for a disclosure of his medical condition.
Yeah.
We are calling for clarity with regards to his ability to fulfill his roles as the Deputy President of the country, given the constant disruption or given the constant absence from office, which has had, an impact not only on himself, because if that was the case, that would be acceptable because, that is his business. It has no disruption.
Yeah. Yeah. Solly, we're struggling with network, but let's see how far we can go with this one. The network keeps breaking here. Do you think he hasn't been doing the work in the time that we have not seen him in the media? Because even before he went to Russia for medical treatment, the concern was, where is the Deputy President? And I remember listening to the minister in the presidency indicating that the Deputy President has been hard at work behind the scenes, even when he wasn't seen on television, on media outlets.
And that is where the genesis of our concern arises, because the Deputy President has a key role to fulfill. But also, Clement, given the events that have been taking place in the country, in the instance where, since the death, and may his soul rest in peace, of Jackson Mthembu, government has lost a senior communicator, someone who has the ear of the president in terms of providing clarity on key developments in government. I mean, when you listen to the current acting minister in the presidency, you get the sense at times that she has no grips of current developments in cabinet and in government. Therefore, when the deputy president is present, he would have been the point of contact for that. But when he's consistently not available and the details relating to his unavailability are also shrouded in secrecy, it raises, eyebrows, and there's a veil of secrecy around it. And all is being defended on the basis of, of privacy. That is all well, and we recognize that. But we're saying that, there's a public interest here, and that public interest is far more valuable in this regard, given that he has a constitutional role to fulfill. And if you go back to the Constitution, members of cabinet have to be fit and proper in order to fulfill those roles.
Okay, so what I'm getting is that the issue here is about transparency, because and I agree with you, most often when the deputy president is not around, I remember sometime earlier this year when the president delivered his budget vote and he addressed the media afterwards, taking questions from the media. He was actually meant to be joined, I think, by the deputy president, and that was cancelled at the last minute. And the media felt there was no sufficient explanation from the presidency on what really happened, why the deputy president was unable to join that briefing. So transparency, quite a big issue here. Let's say the Surgeon General, Solly, clarifies David Mabusa's health condition, and then he says, well, this man does suffer from a condition that may require that he frequently take some time off. You expect him to step down?
Well, on that basis, the expectation would be, does he then think it is fair to continue in that role? And it is key here to recognize that a deputy president does not appoint himself. The onus would then be on the president to do the right thing.
All right. Thank you for making time. Solly Malatsi is the DA Shadow Minister for the presidency.